right. Hello. Welcome back. All right. We're going to do some card pulling for some affirmations for the week. I hope that wherever this finds you, that you're doing well. All right. So let's see what cards come up for us. Ooh, right away. Take yourself out on a date. Homeward. Oh, I love this. Take yourself out on a date. So we're focusing on self-care today. Oh, I love that. Take yourself out on a date. Yeah. And all this, expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval. Yeah, in all this noise and chaos in the world, I know it's heavy. I know it's rough. I know it's hard. I know it's really hard. But make sure you're not neglecting yourself. Make sure you're still taking care of yourself, your well-being. Make sure you're still enjoying things that bring you joy. Make sure that you're going places that make you feel safe and bright and airy. Make sure that your hope is not being depleted because of all of the violence and the oppression and everything that we're witnessing. You know what I mean? Like, make sure that you're making your home, like whether it be your body, your mind, right? Your actual home where you live, your kitchen, make sure that you're allowing those things to be beautiful, to remind you of the beauty that there is in the world, right? Because you do bring beauty to the world. You bring beauty to the world. Also, don't seek anyone else's approval. Expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval. Yeah, I think this is a general message, right? Like it can apply to anyone, anywhere. Make sure that you're not being bombarded by all that noise. And that's what it really feels like. It really feels like we're being told, because the card that to go inside, the card that comes up is, I give space for my inner guidance to speak, right? Go within, go home, right? And tailor to your own expectations. Don't focus on the expectations of other people that other people put on you. What are you looking for? What do you want? I give space for my inner guidance to speak. For my inner guidance to speak, not other people telling you what to do. So going in, retreating a bit, turning off the noise, turning off the TV, logging out of social media. I understand that reading cards and things like that I understand that reading cards can be the confirmation that you're seeking, right? But only you know. The reason why these resonate with you is because it's already happening inside of you. Like, I'm not telling you nothing new. I'm not telling you nothing like you don't already know. It's resonating with you because you already know this wisdom. You're just being reminded. And I only seek out a full body yes. When you seek out a 10 out of 10, when you seek out a full body yes, there is no room for the expectations of other people. When you center yourself in your own life, right? When you center what brings you joy, and not what you think other people, right? What other people, other people would like you to do, what other people would expect you to do, right? You're able to actually listen in. We're getting a lot of messages lately about being quiet and going inside, not seeking things outside of ourselves, and also seeing ourselves as enough, right? As enough to listen to, as smart enough, as brave enough, as wise enough to listen to. Again, you didn't get yourself this far by being silly, by being stupid, right? Like, no, trust your full-bodied yes. Trust your full-bodied yes. A lot of us can't do full-bodied yeses yet because we're still holding on to half-body yeses, right? We're carrying all this dead weight. It's gifts with sorrow. It's gifts that are heavy. It's things that we don't necessarily want to do, but we feel like we have to do because it gives us some sort of reward. Count the cost. What is the reward? Is it actually what you want? Does it really get you what you want? Or are you settling for it because you think this is all you can have? This is all you deserve. This is all that you require, right? No, you require more. You want to live a life of joy. So do it. And it requires bravery. I'm not going to hold you. It requires bravery to not have to, and it requires you to listen to yourself, to not consider the expectations or the boundaries set by other people. Do things that you like to do. I love my friends. I love hanging out with folks, but sometimes I need to spend time with myself without having to worry about juggling another person's expectations, another person's values. Oh, I can't go here because that person doesn't like that. Or I can't travel there because that person doesn't like that area. What do you like? What about you? Maybe some time in solitude would be really, really nice. And it's still the beginning of the year. And I really feel like we're in a time of self-reflection, right? Reflecting. It's a new moon. What intentions do you want to set? Right? Who do you want to become? Who are you really? Not the person that you're pretending to be for other people to accept, to gain acceptance, right? But you want to start accepting yourself. So we're looking for, I only seek out. Be brave enough. Do that for a week. For a week. If you can, if you have the room, and I feel like you can, in what you can control. I know you can't necessarily control where you work or whatever, where you live, but the things that you do have control over, what you eat for dinner, what you wear, right? What you already have. You don't need to go outside of yourself for something new. What do you already have that's a full-bodied yes, that when you put it on, you're like, oh, I feel so good in this. And maybe it's not because of how it looks, maybe because it's how it feels on your skin. What is the full-bodied yes for the experience, right? You know the difference between like, I guess I can go versus like, no, I really want to do this. I'm really excited to do this. Follow those nudgings. They will not lead you wrong. In one of our last readings, we were talking about following the path of your own life. That's how you do it, by following a 10 out of 10 experiences, a full-bodied yes, not a half yes, or I guess, maybe, no. What is it that you're really convicted by? Follow your convictions and believe them, even if you're doing it by yourself. Oftentimes it's better to do it by yourself because then you're not really carrying the weight or the fear of disappointing somebody, right? Where do I want to go next? I want to go to the Realist Oracle deck and see if anything comes up in regards to what we're talking about. Okay. The card that comes up. Oh, inner child. I love that. So when you are doing your date, when you're doing your self-date, spend time with your inner child. What does your inner child want to do? A lot of us were told no growing up a lot. A lot of us were told no for whatever reasons, because they wanted to keep us safe, or they didn't want anybody to hurt us, or some people didn't want us to have fun. They didn't feel like we deserved it. We feel like we have to earn our fun. You can't go outside until you clean your room. You can't do this until you meet my expectations, right? You can't have fun. You can't enjoy your life until you do what I say. But guess what? Now that you're an adult, you're the parent of you. You're the boss of you, right? And if your child wants to get some ice cream and you're not lactose intolerant, get some ice cream, or find some ice cream that is lactose free, right? Like, enjoy your life. Have fun. What would your inner child want to do? What were you always told no that you want to tell yourself yes to now? Your inner child is not playing. Your inner child has been, especially if you're a Black woman, has been squashed down, silenced, neglected, forgotten about, right? Ridiculed, dismissed. A lot of Black women were made to, a lot of Black girls were made to grow up really, really fast. And we've been women, using air quotes, all our lives. We've had to be responsible all our lives. And our inner child is mad about that. And we're mad about that. We're angry about that. And you should be, because you should have been given the grace to be a kid. But even if it was stolen away from you, you still get to give yourself permission to be a child now, today. You don't have to live up to anybody else's expectations anymore. You're grown. You're an adult. And it's easier said than done, right? I have to remind myself, I'm an adult now. Like, I'm not an NPC character. I'm not this character programmed by this, by this video game. I can make choices. I have choice. And I have wisdom to make those choices now that I didn't have when I was a kid. I can trust the decisions I make now because I'm an adult with more experience than I did when I was a kid. And now I can keep my kid self safe while still allowing her to explore and do all the things that she wants to do. Take care of your inner child. Have more fun. Black women, have more fun. Play more. Stay curious. Do the things that were discouraged by your parents or by elders or teachers, pastors, whoever. Do the things that your inner child always wanted to do and keep her safe enough to do it. You don't have to do it to perform for everybody else. Your inner child probably doesn't want to perform. She probably just wants to connect and to be seen and to be witnessed. Do that with her. Do it in the safety. You are a safe place. You are her first home. She is inside of you. You have to be a safe place for her to show up. Stop being so rigid with her and forcing her to perform for money, right? See her soul. See her the way you want to be seen. Celebrate her. If she asks you, why did you leave me here? Tell her the truth. If she has wisdom to share, listen to it. A great exercise could be, You imagining going and sitting next to your inner child on a bench somewhere. If you could see her, if you close your eyes and witness her, if you could see her, what is she really saying? What is her condition? Is she depleted? Is she malnourished? Is she worn and beaten and weary? Has she lost hope? Right? Is she begging you to come play with her? Why don't you answer her call? Really sit with your inner child. What does she need to say to you, and what do you need to say to her? Maybe you need to say to her, I am so sorry that I lost you, but I'm back for you now. I am so sorry that capitalism and responsibilities and adultification had me leaving you by the wayside. But I'm here now. And I love you, and you're worthy, and you've always been worthy. You've always been enough. What does your inner child need to hear? It is safe to play. You can play with me. I'm not going to get mad. I'm not going to yell at you for playing, for being curious, for having fun, for asking questions. Be that safe place for your inner child that maybe your parents could not have been for you. Be that safe place for your inner child that your school may not have been for you. That the world may not have been safe enough for you to be free as a child, as a Black little girl. Honor your inner child. She has all the wisdom. She has all the dreams. She knows what she wants to do to play. Like, children don't have to practice play. We do. We have to practice getting back into our child's self to be open enough to play. She already has all the answers. Children only do what they want to do. They're in a full-bodied yes all the time. They're very aware, very cognizant of what they don't like. Okay? Hate that, love that, hate that, love that. Be that way with yourself. Give yourself space and time, safe space and time to be a child again. I also recommend the song Kid Again by PJ Morton. I'll put the link for it in the description. But yes, be a child again. You know, there's a lyric in that song that says, I'm going back to all those dreams I once had. Before I lit all these things in my head, my 8-year-old self would be so disappointed because I started to doubt everything we said. At what age did you start telling yourself no? Or did somebody else start telling you no? That you don't get to dream, you don't get to do. Go back to that time, recover that little girl and cover her and love her and nourish her and save her. In that you will save yourself. Thank you for that. Anything else for, yes. Grief. Grief came up. Maybe your inner child is grieving. Maybe you're grieving your inner child. Maybe you're grieving your childhood and you think that you can, drink it away, dance it away, all those things. Shout out to Solange, right? That great trauma of being called woman before your time. There's great grief there. There's great anger and rage there. And it makes sense. It makes sense to be angry. It makes so much sense to be angry and to be confused and to feel taken advantage of and to feel robbed because you were. Grieve it. You're allowed to grieve. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to scream. You're allowed to process your rage in any way that doesn't hurt you or anybody else. You don't have to be anybody but who you are in this moment. There is so much grief that comes up for Black women when it comes to our childhood that sometimes we don't even trust play anymore. We don't even trust joy. Because we don't want anybody to snatch it away from us again. We're so afraid of someone stealing our joy again that we don't even dare to dream or play anymore. So in your bag came up, but I really feel like we focus too much on the bag, right? We focus too much on money. But what about your soul? What about the things that actually last, right? Money can be replenished, right? Your soul can be replenished as well. But I really do feel like connecting with your inner child will actually bring more opportunities and abundance in your life. And maybe it won't be money. Maybe it'll be friendships. Maybe it'll be joy, right? Joy. Joy is also a worthy investment. It's not always all about money. But I promise you that sometimes playing with your inner child can bring you money. I'm here to let you know. Everything ain't always hard. Everything don't have to be hard. Everything don't have to be hard. Get into your inner child's shoes. Get in her shoes. Go back to that time. Be immature. Be bratty. Be ungrateful. Be all the things that your parents may have told you that you were. Be sensitive. Be emotional. Be wild and crazy. Be too much. Be annoying. Right? Be that child again. I know it was taught that it wasn't safe for us to be childlike or to be children. Especially the way that we treat children now. Like we tell them that they're annoying and to shut up, but they know, children know. You're trying to figure out where to go, but you knew as a child. Get back in those child shoes and start walking again. She will take you to where you need to go. She will take you to joy, into safety, into good friends and good food and good opportunities. Children have a way of seeing the world that we lose as we age. Allow her to remind you of what it's like to be a kid again. Okay? Anything else come up for our inner child or anything? Any affirmations? If not, we might move on to, okay. Ooh, follow the spark again. Follow the spark. Follow the spark. You're trying to figure out, thank you, Spirit. You're trying to figure out, where do I go? Like, how do I get back to myself? It starts with small baby steps, right? When you were a baby, you took baby steps. Your steps were like this big. Stop trying to think, oh, I can adult myself into this. I can adultify myself into the solve. I can force myself. I can take baby steps. That's how you find yourself again. Spark by spark. Let it be easy. Let it be fun. Oh yeah, I forgot I love this song. Oh yeah. And then the song takes you on a rabbit hole to like, oh my gosh, this takes me back to college days. And I had a time myself, I was listening to music that I would listen to in my college days. And I was immediately taken back to that time. Maybe there's a song that you loved when you were a kid, or a show that you watched when you were a child, or your favorite dish, right? Go back to what you remember about your kid self. And I promise you something will spark and light up in you. She will put you back in those shoes. Okay, you can time travel. You can go back in time. You can grieve, right? You can play with your inner child, following those 10s out of 10s. Because I promise you, as a kid, that's all you did. You followed the 10 out of 10, the full-bodied yeses. I want to go outside and play. And you remember how that felt to want to go outside and play with your friends? That yearning, that desire, that nothing matters more than this. That was a full-bodied yes when you were a kid. Those are the sparks that you're looking for. Oh yeah, I remember how much I love jumping rope. I remember how much I loved kicking a ball in the field for no reason. I remember how much I loved playing tag. I remember how much I loved, making things with my hands and drawing and coloring and making no sense and writing stories. Follow that spark back to yourself. Follow that spark. That spark will take you back to yourself. All right, let's see. I want to pick a daily ritual card to see if it lines up. Well, before I do that, let me pull one from this deck. This deck is the Wandering Heart deck by Raina Biddy. Okay, so let's see. I haven't picked a card from this in a minute. Oh, cards are falling. Ooh, balance and sacrifice. Ooh. Balance came up first, sacrifice. And what I'm getting from this is, as an adultified child, you had to sacrifice so much. And you lean heavily into the martyrdom. Because as Black women, we are celebrated for our martyrdom. We are celebrated for suffering, right? We're celebrated for giving up for everybody. We're celebrated. Like the most famous of us are celebrated because of what we lost. Because of what we sacrificed. And we lean into that energy a lot. I'm going to give up my joy for somebody else's joy. And sadly, insidiously, it's celebrated. Our suffering, our sacrifice, our martyrdom is suffering. And we have been relegated to martyrs. That if we are not martyrs, we do not matter, right? But balance. Balance. We need to balance that sacrifice that often comes from good places, because a lot of times we do stuff because who else is going to do it? Somebody else. You need to balance this with joy and excitement and play and pleasure and softness and rest and indulgence. All the things that we were denied. as Black little girls. All those things. You have to balance this sacrifice and this martyrdom, right? With devotion to self, with deep self-care, right? Because at the end of the day, if you have children, even if you don't, right? You would never think it appropriate for someone to make a child a martyr. You would never find that appropriate. But you are that child, and you were made that martyr. And that's why we have to grieve. Somebody took our lives from us, y'all. Somebody took our lives. Somebody took our childhood from us, right? Parents, the country we live in, family and friends, men, teachers. So many people took our safety, our safe places, our childhood away from us, took our embodied, full-bodied yeses away from us and told us that we had to suffer and be a martyr and sacrifice to be loved. And we learned that and we believe that. And we believed that in our bones, that what makes us holy is our suffering and our sacrifice. But that only leaves us wounded and depleted. And it leaves the people that we're actually supposed to connect and cover uncovered and unconnected to. How are you going to do the good work, right? How are you going to do the joyful work, the easy work, the playful work, the healing work, if you're always sacrificing yourself? How? You have to balance that. I would even say, stop sacrificing yourself. It shouldn't cost you your life to love other people. It shouldn't cost you your well-being to be good to people. It shouldn't. If you realize you're being stabbed in the back, leave. Find serenity. Protect that inner child, because we would never let nobody harm our child. Never. And that goes for you too. You are also a child. You are someone's child. Even if that person is not in your life anymore, you are a child. You are a child and you deserve protection. You deserved protection and care. You didn't deserve to be a martyr at 12 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old. You didn't deserve that. And so now that you're an adult and you're the one parenting yourself, right? Now it's time to balance that sacrificial energy, right? And give yourself all the love and all the grace and all the nourishment and adoration and safety and love and safe places and joy and excitement and happiness. You get to be the center of your own world. You get to go home. You get to be your first home. Okay? Let's see if anything else comes up. I'm really feeling that though. I'm really feeling that very strongly. Stop sacrificing yourself. Stop it. Stop it. You are no one's martyr. Balance that with love in your life, okay? With all the grace in the world, all the play in the world, all the softness in the world. Black women loving themselves unapologetically, Black women being childish and playing, that is revolutionary. That is revolutionary. They are used to seeing Black women as sacrificial lambs. That's why they're not moved by it. That's why they're bothered by our joy and our play. That's why they shut down our joy and our play, because they have relegated us to martyr for this country, martyr for the West, martyr for everybody in our family, right? At the expense of our own joy. And a lot of us have never grieved that because we didn't even know that we could grieve it. We didn't even know that was wrong. We thought that was our lot in life. It's not. It's not. Let's see. Feast. I love this. Feast. It says, slow down and celebrate yourself. Slow down. Slow down. Throw a feast in your honor. Savor your life. Savor what you find pleasure in and enjoyment in. My cards are a mess, but I hope that you all are following. Savor your life. Feast. Throw a feast in your honor. Don't wait until you die to give yourself flowers, right? Like, give yourself flowers. Give your inner child her flowers. Thank you, inner child, for bringing me this far. Thank you, inner child, for your dreams and your hope. Thank you that you never lost your whimsy. Thank you that you never lost your hope. Thank you that you never lost your joy, your playfulness. Show me how to play with you more. How can I honor and celebrate you? Celebrate yourself by throwing yourself a feast. Fix all the food if you can eat, if you can still eat it. Fix yourself all the food you used to love as a kid. Watch the movies. Have a sleepover with yourself, right? Write down what comes up. Cry if you need to. All right, now I'm gonna pull one more card from Daily Rituals, and then we're gonna get out of here because I do want you to actually apply this to your life. Like, take this in, be encouraged, be inspired, and do something with it. Okay, let's see. I love this. Yeah. It says the first card is connection, right? And it says, I nurture and nourish the connections that fill my cup. Fill your own cup first. It's almost like she's looking at herself. And I love this because allow yourself to fill your own cup. Fill your own cup before you pour into anybody else's. I have to shout out Latifah Fleming. She had a quote, and the quote basically said, the idea of pouring into other people should be like this. You pour into your cup, and whatever overflows, you pour into somebody else's cup. Whatever is overflowing onto that saucer, that's what you share. But first, yourself. First, delight yourself in yourself. Feast with yourself. Connect with yourself. Connect with your inner child. Connect with your inner knowing. Connect with your truth. Connect with the true you, not the you you're trying to hide. Okay? So that's the first one. I nurture and nourish the connections that fill my cup. Your inner child fills your cup, right? And she has not been nourished and she has been neglected this whole time. We have been taught to neglect our inner child and also celebrated for neglecting her, right? So we have to do the work of unlearning that, of unlearning celebrating ourselves for martyrdom and for neglecting ourselves, and then being unapologetic about pouring into our inner child, which then pours into us. It's like a little cup inside of us that overflows and spills out into us over and over again. And then what spills out of us, we then pour into other people if we have the energy. That's the first one. Okay? And then manifestation is the second card. With the help of the universe, I co-create my dream life. With the help of the universe, I co-create my dream life. There are a lot of co-creators in your life, right? So yes, we have the universe, but we also have our inner child, right? Which means that it's not all on us. We don't have to be so smart. We don't have to figure it out. Like, I'm thinking about Matilda, where the father is like, I'm smart, you're dumb. I'm right, you're wrong. You're right. Like, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's how that's why we've been taught to talk to our inner child. That's how we've been taught to talk to ourselves. That inner elder in our mind that was placed in there by somebody has been policing us this whole time. Who are your other co-creators in your life? Mother Nature, the universe, your inner child, your inner elder, right? You, your gut, your intuition, your friends, your family. You're not in this alone. You don't have to do this alone, but a person that we keep neglecting is our inner child. Allow her to dream of a new life for you. And listen in wisely. Listen in, taking her wisdom seriously. Not, oh, that's childish. Yeah, that's childish, and it's probably the most correct thing because she is unburdened by the things that we are burdened from. She can speak unfiltered. She feels deeply, right? And most times, she's right. She's right. We were told, oh, you're wrong for throwing a tantrum, but we should actually throw a tantrum when somebody wrongs us. It is wrong for someone to wrong us. Listen in to your co-creators in life, and you can't go wrong. So this is in honor of the inner child that all Black women, that a lot of Black women were taught to invalidate, distrust, be embarrassed by, right? We were taught to trade in our inner child for martyrdom because that was our station. That's where we're supposed to be in this grand scheme of things. No more. No more. No more. Grieve it. No more sacrificing. No more sacrificing. We're balancing that with joy and pleasure and goodness and sweetness and good relationships. People that don't hurt our feelings. People that don't give us, backhanded compliments. You deserve more than that. You can have more than that. You are more than that. You are kinder than that. Right? And let the inner child lead. This is her reading. This is her show right now. She knows better than you what she's doing. We have followed the plan of martyrdom. She knows what's going to get us back on track. Listen in. And that can only happen. That can only happen when you give yourself space. When you give yourself space for inner guidance, for your inner guidance to speak, your inner child to speak, right? When we're following the sparks. when we're putting ourselves in her shoes, right? To lead us and guide us back to where we lost ourselves. Because she knows where we lost ourselves. Because she's been sitting there this whole time. When we say yes to a full-bodied yes. Not a half-assed, a full-bodied yes. Okay? Feast in her honor. Don't live for other people's expectations. That's how we got lost in the first place. We got lost wanting to be loved, wanting to finally be seen as enough, wanting to not be made fun of, wanting to be celebrated and seen. And it's not your fault that you were only celebrated for being a martyr. That was never supposed to be your station. Come home to yourself. Here's an action item. Start by taking yourself out on a date. Take your inner child out on a date. Go to a trampoline park. Go to the museum. Go sit on a park bench somewhere, right? Go feed the ducks. Do something simple. Get a crayon and some paper and go to town, right? Not trying to be good, not trying to be perfect, right? But just being with yourself, being with your inner child. Put on some music you used to listen to when you were a kid and dance to it. Remember how it felt in your body to listen to that. Come home to yourself. She's been here waiting this whole time. And you'll be better for it. She is your teacher. She is your rock. She is your friend. She is the one who will never leave you. Lean on her, trust in her, and nourish her. Protect her and keep her safe. May she never have to be a martyr ever again. This is in honor of your inner child. I hope this encouraged you. And remember, you have always been everything good. Okay? Until next time, y'all. Later.